I then went and started clicking on left-leaning articles like The Guardian, and then I just got basically less intelligent, didn't I? Okay, welcome back to Flagship Performance there. My name is Tim Davies. As you can see, we are actually back in the attack shack, dropping truth bombs on your personal battlefields, helping you to win the wars that you are fighting. And the one we're looking at today then is Keir Starmer's 2025 immigration white paper, where there is a significant amount of obfuscation about immigration, which is causing a lot of trepidation in this great nation. That rhymed really well, didn't it? Let's get into it. And guys, we're going to start here at Ground News. I would suggest you always start here. We are sponsored by them. It's actually a really good deal, 40% off. I'll put something in the middle for you to have a look at. What we do here, all your news stories are covered. And what we just got up here, we'll look for something about Starmer. If you can't find it on the main page, which you usually can, it'll be here somewhere, guys, honestly. Just whack in here, Starmer. We'll find the story. And it gives you loads and loads of stuff. There we go. And click that. Oh, there we go. Island of Strangers. Let's look at this one. Now, when this comes up on the right hand side, that's down here, we can actually see like the bias distribution a little bit right, because rights are interested in this, of course, aren't we? We know we're becoming an island of strangers. It's dangerous outside there in some cities. We realise that. This allows you to scroll down and go, oh, maybe I'll click on the Mirror. That's quite a leaning left. Mixed factuality. Yeah, they don't really do facts in the Mirror, do we? Novara Media. I actually quite like some aspects of Novara. They're about to change this whole kind of gender LGBT grift thing into a class war. They're pushing it pretty hard. They're quite clever people, but again, look, mixed factuality. Again, the left don't really do facts, do they? So what you can do is just click down here until you find an article you like, basically. But it shows you up here, as I said, you know, where everyone's leaning. Oh, the Telegraph. I use Telegraph. Click on it. You go there. Yeah, some you need subs for. Oh, look, at the very top, it gives you that kind of bar there as well, telling you where this is. It's a bit more right bias. Prime Minister vows to reduce immigration significantly, but refuses to set cap. He can't set a cap. We're going to start the end of the video here at the beginning, and I'm just going to show a diagram right now about why he can't do anything about this. So what this shows on the left one, European population forecast by 2100, about 75 years then, if we stopped net migration today, if we had no one come into this country today, no one, all right, this is what's going to happen. We're going to be left with 48 million people because, of course, we're just not having enough little babushkas, are we, little babies? Not at all. And you can see all the populations of Europe are declining in that. Now, this is a massive issue because we've actually got quite aged populations in all of Europe. Now, if we look at the right picture here, this is what's saying that if we carry on bringing migration into it in the rates that it's continuing at, we're going to end up with this 86 million in the UK. That's actually still a small figure, but we're going to talk about the Office of Budget Responsibility now, which actually says we need to bring in 340,000 per year. Now, I'll play you a quick film, and it's very, very important because if we do not sustain this immigration influx, we cannot pay pensions, we cannot survive, and our welfare state will just crumble. It's the way we've got it into it is from a very aged population. I'm not saying I agree with it at all, guys, all right? And I'm saying there's a fight there to be had, and you have to pick a side. But either way, we're going to lose. It's whether you want to lose via the government's policy or whether you want to lose by your own policies. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. Let's watch this film.
Prime Minister, just to pick up on growth and migration, one of the reasons that we've had a laxer migration policy for years is because of basically the Treasury view. Successive chancellors, their fiscal rules, and the way that interacts with the official forecasts means it's always been an easy win to have more growth by having more people in the country. What's your message today to the Treasury, to the OBR, and are you doing anything to actually change the way that they work and look at all this stuff and calculate the cost-benefit analysis of growth and migration?
Yeah, well, thank you, Sam. Just succinctly, and then adding to the answer I just gave. Firstly, the pure theory, if you like, that simply higher migration numbers necessarily leads to higher growth, I think has been tested in the last 4 years. We quadrupled in actually a very short period of time. And, you know, I think whatever political persuasion you are, it is quite extraordinary that net migration quadrupled in 4 years. We've never seen that before in this country, but growth didn't shift. It stayed stagnant.
The main points I want you to take out from that video is this. Net migration quadrupled in 4 years. That was under Conservative government, by the way. Conservative government under the Johnson. Remember, Johnson did this. Whether you like Johnson or not, he's a fluffy big bear and we all find him a cheeky chappy. He did a lot of damage to not only this country, but also Ukraine as well, back in February 2022 when he continued the war. Net migration quadrupled in 4 years. We've never seen that before, but growth didn't shift. This is stayed stagnant. This is what's such a catastrophe about this. We brought people in who are not contributing anything to this country, and their dependents are also in here. And if they are making any money, they're sending it back home. They're a drain on society. I'm not a far right guy. I don't belong to Homeland or anything. I'm not saying Homeland is, crikey, don't hit me for that. I'm just saying I don't belong to Reform, no political affiliation here whatsoever, guys. But what I am saying is these people, a lot of them, are not contributing anything to this country. They're a massive drain. They come here, welfare state picks them up. That's always going to be the case. However, I'm not a scientist. I could have told you this was happening, right? So back to the article then that Ground News has given us, and we can see here that Keir Starmer has said the UK risks becoming an island of strangers unless it introduces stricter immigration controls. Arguably, that's already the case, and we know that. And at the back end of this article, a lot of the Labour MPs are pushing back on this because, of course, they are, like Starmer, communists and socialists that we have in our government. We're a very left-leaning country. We always have been. It stems from the fact we have universal healthcare system, free at the point of delivery. We all know that, right? Free education, all that kind of stuff. And unfortunately, people grow up. And unless we empower people with houses and jobs, they don't understand that they need to work to gain wealth. Then they want to protect that wealth. And that's what puts you into sort of a more conservative ideal. But we'll also look at what, say, a left-leaning paper, and that's what Ground News will give to you. It gives you this massive kind of, it lets you know what you're looking at. Like when I was starting to look at this without using Ground News, when I went on to Ground News, it was saying that I kept clicking on like right-leaning articles because I wanted to read stuff that confirmed my views. I then went and started clicking on left-leaning articles like The Guardian, and then I just got basically less intelligent, didn't I? It covers these points there. Net migration will fall, and you can basically have a look at all of these and you can shout them down. What The Guardian will do is push one side. It won't really give you the opposing view. But this article by Alison Pearson actually doesn't pull its punches at all. She gets straight into it. Starmer's tough policy on migration is the biggest con since Meg Ryan. People won't even know who Meg Ryan is on this. I'll tell you what you want to do, guys. If you want to kind of get back into your own head and forget about this stuff, go and watch the old films. Be under no illusion, our Prime Minister doesn't care one jot about immigration. This is the truth. Does he want to reduce immigration? Does an alcoholic willingly hand over a vodka bottle? Our Prime Minister has never met an immigrant or asylum seeker he didn't like. He campaigned. That was his job when he was a lawyer, to bring people into the country. He believes they're vulnerable people being ruthlessly exploited by vile gangs. He doesn't see them in the same way as us. He's never come into contact with immigrants like we have. Now, it's not all immigrants, and that's very careful that we say that because we do need immigrants. We need outflow and inflow. We all understand that. We're not chastising them. I'm just saying that when we don't actually know who these people are that are coming to the country, we have literally a foreign army building up with some young men. They're not asylum seekers, are they? We know that because asylum seekers will obviously bring their families. Some do, but the guys coming off the boats, men coming off the boats, are not doing that. And unfortunately, they will come into contact with your family at some point. This graph is very interesting. Ground News have decided to sponsor this video. They are good people. And when they said, can I sponsor you, Tim? I was like, hell to the yes, because I used their product already. And I said, what's going to be a great deal for me is going to be a great deal for you guys as well. 40% off the Vantage plan, top tier plan. Let's head over there now. So what Ground News does, it brings all these news articles in from across the political spectrum. It looks at the biases on them as well. So if I was to scroll to this article here, which is about the UK economy expanding by 0.5% in February, higher than expected, and I clicked on it, we can see straight away that there's 16 news sources that have reported on it. It is a leaning left. Why? Because we've got a left-wing government, haven't we? So maybe the right aren't reporting on it too much. And you can see there's about 6 in the centre. Now, what you can do then, pretty much, 55% centrist, kind of a centrist article, you can then have a read, have a bit of a summary here if you want to, and then you can go and pick your favourite paper down here anywhere you want, and you can click on that link. It then takes you across to that paper, and if you can see at the very top, you've also got a taskbar on Chrome that also helps you see what is going on. You have a read of it if you want. There you go. To all kinds of different papers. And you can also look at the factuality of it. How factual are these things that are coming out? And also, who owns those papers, right? So you know when you're being kind of like hoodwinked. Ground News is the only way that I get unbiased news. And the offer today is 40% off the Vantage plan. It's a good plan. I use it myself. About £7 a month, guys. Get after it. The graph actually, I can't make it any bigger, unfortunately, guys, but we're kind of stuck with it. How net migration has changed over the past decade. Now, what it does, it looks at the Conservatives, basically. Remember, migration started heavily under Blair in 1997, didn't it? But we're looking at Cameron, May, Johnson, a bit of Sunak at the end there. He wasn't in for too long. And then, of course, Starmer. So what's happened here? Well, the main Conservative target of 100,000, remember Cameron said back in the day it should be like 50,000. We can see that when I move my cursor along, that David Cameron's allowing what, 260, 250, 270 in, all these people coming in here. It still goes up, because the contrast here really is that first picture I showed you. The Office of Budget Responsibility, he wants 340,000 in from 2028. It needs it. The country cannot be sustained unless we have 340,000 people coming in. What's that? You want to know about housing? I will talk to you about housing in a minute. If you wonder why housing is going up in your local area, it's because of this. Then May came in. It's pretty much the same. Then obviously Johnson came in, dropped initially, didn't it? Boom. He wanted to impress his friends, and then he basically ruined everything, allowing, it was actually over 1 million. We know it was over 1 million. And these are figures that we were reported officially. Of course, it doesn't take into account people that we don't know that's come into the country. Johnson was a huge failure for this country. Don't think he wasn't. He was. We don't need people like that in. And then, of course, what Starmer's done, Sunak obviously was just juggling the balls that Johnson left him. And then Starmer's obviously going to have to do something about this. He's going to bring it down to more manageable levels because they've just been hit in the local elections. And then he's going to make that 340,000 consistently for the rest of your and my life forever. And very soon, like my older sister, you're going to start asking me, Tim, why can't my kids get houses? Why can't I get a dental appointment, a doctor's appointment? A lot of people are saying that to me already. I'm in the countryside. It's affecting me. You know, it's one of those things, guys. That's the failure we're looking at in the UK. It's never going to change. It's going to become more dangerous, more unsettled. What you can do about it, I'll give you those in a minute. And the Office for National Statistics that I was talking about earlier has predicted that net migration will settle at 340,000 from 2028. They need it to. It's important. It cannot be changed. Some experts say that with more people staying here longer, just over 500,000 is nearer the mark. Yet again, see how people are gaslit by their leaders to accept as totally normal levels of immigration, which are far greater than any time in our history, and ruinous for national cohesion and the well-being of those that are born here. So we do have this massive issue, guys. And, you know, I'm not really one to sit here and tell you how we're going to solve it, but I am a guy that's going to tell you that it's going to come from the individuals. There is no solving this. We're living in a country now that's going to become more fragmented, more distant, and it's going to become more dangerous as well because the social cohesion is going to take us, the lack of it is going to take us from a high trust society into a low trust society, and there is nothing we can do about it if we want to sustain ourselves as a country. So when people write in the comments there, and please do, Tim, we've got to chuck them all out. Look, I'm with you. I'm 100% with you. You know I am. You know the channel, right? You know who I am. Okay, you know who I am. You know how I feel about it. This flag over here was taken off a naval warship that I served on. You know what I mean? I've done the military time and I'll go back tomorrow because I still believe in the great people of this country, whether we believe in what our Prime Minister is doing or not. However, guys, we've got to work a way of dealing with this. All right. And that comes down to what I say, doesn't it? Fitness, family, finance, and fuel and faith. We've got to look at those things. All right. We talk about them individually over these videos. It comes from you as the Englishman or Englishwoman, or Welsh, Scottish, whatever you want to do. I don't believe in British because British has been so heavily diluted now by politicians, it means nothing. It comes down to you, people that were indigenous to this country, okay, and what you do with the people around you and how you live. And because of that, I'm going to show you something now that's going to make you a bit angry. This is a man who's in trouble, all right? It's the former First Sea Lord, well, still the First Sea Lord, technically, of the Royal Navy, okay? And unfortunately, a man called Sir Admiral Ben Key was found shagging out a station. I've done a video on him before. What I'm saying is now he's also been found not only to be doing that, but he'd set up a task force to ensure better behavior by commanders. I may do an entire thing on this, but what I'm not interested in doing, guys, is hitting men when they're down. All right, we can all do that. It's a very soy latte activity. It's what weak men do. We need to support men like this, and I know a lot of you don't agree with me. I haven't been got at, don't get me wrong. I'll tell you why I haven't been got at, mate. I'll be honest with you. I put a video out about Matt Holmes, a Royal Marine. Unfortunately, I can't say the words on here, what happened to him. But he ended up killing himself. I think I can probably just demonetize the entire video by saying that. Rob McGowan was a Marine that was taken over from him. He felt, you know what I mean? I'll put the thing up there. And we don't want things like this to happen to our very senior commanders. And people in the comments will write me off for saying that. We need to reach out and look after these people. Yes, they've messed up. Yes, they've done incredible damage to the Navy. Never before, by the way, has a First Sea Lord ever been stepped down because of misconduct. This is the first one. It's atrocious. However, we need to lean in with these people, all right? Because it's a very volatile time in their lives. And one day, you know what? You're going to make a mistake. I'm going to make a mistake. And we're going to hopefully have someone lean into us, guys. Fitness, family, finance, and fuel and faith. Let's think about it. When I talk about faith, that's not necessarily like someone above or anything like that. It's faith in yourself and the people around you that you're going to come through this and we're going to do something good. It's about unit cohesion, isn't it? It's about bringing the country together, making it stronger than ever before. Now we got the facts. Let's think about what we're going to do with it. Guys, I appreciate you watching the video. Hey, grab that 40% off because then you're being hit with, news and you can work out where the biases are. All right, it's a good link. It's worth it. I use it. I still pay for it myself. Tim Davies, Fast Jet Performance.